Hi, I'm Rachael. I'm on a journey to living a better financial life, and I'm here to give you tips, tricks, inspiration, and motivation along your financial journey. Today, I am going to go into my sinking funds. Real quick, if you don't know what sinking funds are, these are like little tiny savings accounts that you save for specific purposes. You'll see what my sinking fund categories are once we go into my sinking funds, but you typically save them for a certain amount of time or for a certain amount of money, just in case, if something is going to be happening, if you are trying to save for something specific. Leave me a comment down below. Do you like having this split up, or would you rather me talk less and have it all in one video? So in my last video, I went over my March budget for 2021. I went over everything that I spent, but I kind of ran out of time to talk about everything that I spent in my sinking funds. That video was already getting too long, and then there's so much going on with my sinking funds this month. So I decided that I was going to do a completely separate video just for my sinking funds, what I spent in March, and it was a lot, and then what I put into my sinking funds in March, which that was also a lot, which that I did tell you in my March budget how much was going to sinking funds, but I hadn't had a chance to actually put it in. And not only that, but I did this the last couple days of March, and then I did some more spending. It cleared my credit cards before I actually paid them off, because I do use credit cards to get cashback rewards, and I pay everything off at the end of the month. Well, I had a couple of purchases that actually cleared my credit card before I actually made my payment, because I was waiting on money to transfer from one bank account to the other. Don't worry, my actual due date on paying my credit cards is around the 10th of the month, and I usually pay it the first of the month, so I pay it in plenty of time. But I made another purchase since I actually filmed my budget, so it's fine. I didn't do any other spending in the budget, just in the sinking funds. So let's take a look at my sinking funds, what I spent, why I spent it, and how much I have going into my sinking funds. This is the first part. This is literally half of what I spent in my sinking funds. It was too much to put all on one. So yeah, this is just half. I spent quite a bit of money on household items and just updates around the house. I will have a video. Actually, I'll have a couple of videos coming out soon that is pretty much exactly what I bought, how much it all was, and some before and after pictures, if I remember to take the before pictures, because I don't know what's with me, but I knew the whole time I was going to show you before and after, and I think some of my pictures I forgot to do the before, but I will do my best to find some pictures of the befores if I don't have them. So let's start out, and I went to Kohl's. I actually got a great deal on a really nice vacuum. I found one, I think it was an Amazon return, which you can actually return things from Amazon to Kohl's, which is really nice. The vacuum that I got was not even on display. There was not an original one to see what the original price was. It was just one box on the shelf, marked on clearance. It had a shipping label, kind of the plastic part, so I could tell that it had been shipped at some point. And I couldn't find the original price to compare it and all of that. And not only that, but the box was kind of damaged, and so it was already marked down on clearance because it was the only one they had. I think it was one that they don't really have in the store, so it was already marked down on clearance. And then I asked for a further discount because the box was damaged. They gave me an extra 15% off, I do believe. I also had some other deals that were going on for because Kohl's always has some kind of, sale of some sort, and, a certain percentage off. And so I took advantage of that. And I also had a $100 gift card to Kohl's. So I ended up getting a vacuum and a new pair of shoes, and I only spent $69.20. Now, I had a $100 gift card thanks to a friend's parents that were helping me out with my house, and so a vacuum was definitely needed because the one that I had was not working at all. And this new vacuum that I have, oh my gosh, it is a dream. And I actually found it on Amazon. So with my discounts, let's say I spent $169.20. So that was like the total price that I had to pay, but I also got shoes, which were like $30 shoes. So I spent like $130 on this vacuum that is actually like a $250 to $275 vacuum. So I got a really great deal on a really great vacuum. I will actually link that vacuum down below. I did find it on Amazon because it works. I love it. This carpet that I have is from the previous owner of the house, and it's not in great shape. I don't plan on keeping this carpet forever, but it does pick up and actually make the carpet look semi-clean. It's not the vacuum's fault. It's very old carpet, so it needs to be replaced. But I don't plan on doing that until I can afford new flooring altogether. And if you've been around for a while, you know that my next goal is new windows in the house. I feel like that's more important. So anyway, I only spent $69.20 on a vacuum and pair of shoes. Then on Amazon, I bought some household items. I bought cube bins for my bedroom. I have like a whole bedroom organization video that'll be coming out soon. I also bought a whole bunch of kitchen utensils. I could not find the utensils that I wanted in the store anywhere. I went to Kohl's, I went to Walmart, I went to Target. I could not find the utensils that I wanted for a semi-decent price. I'd have to buy everything individually, and they were like $10 to $20 just for one utensil. But I found a great kitchen utensil set on Amazon, and I will also link those down below because they are heat resistant and they're a pretty color, and I just love them. So I got those from Amazon. I also used for my Rachael business, I spent $164.29 on this office chair. So this is the white chair right here, much more comfortable than the one that I used to have. The one that I had before, I just bought something really cheap because I knew that it was just going to last me until I had my own place, but I didn't know how long that would be. So I bought like a $40 or $50 Amazon chair. And I also had to buy a very small one that would fit in my bedroom because my office, my bedroom, like everything fit into my childhood bedroom at my parents' house when I was living there. So that one was not very comfortable, but at least it was a place to sit at my desk. Well, now I have a bigger desk, a bigger chair, just a whole office here that I absolutely love. And I thought that I had enough money in my business sinking fund, and so that meant it was time to buy a chair. Then I know I talked about going out with my Aunt Doris. This comes from Family Time Sinking Fund. My Aunt Doris, she's my great aunt. Actually, she was my mom's aunt. And she is 93, I do believe, maybe almost 94. Or is she 94, almost 95? I don't even know. I barely know how old I am, so I don't feel bad that I don't know how old she is. So anyway, we have started going out on Fridays and going out to dinner. A lot of the times she will actually pay, but there were a couple of times where she paid me cash and they didn't take cash, like at the fish fry, like they're not taking cash there. So I just paid on my card and then she would give me some cash. So anyway, I spent $23 eating out at the fish fry, and then I also spent $30 eating out at Beef O'Brady's. So that's another restaurant. And we did that like after church. So we're also going to church and then going out to either dinner or lunch, depending on when we go to church on the weekend. So that is going to slowly be depleting my Family Time Sinking Fund if I am using a lot of that. So just depending on how the next few weeks go, how much I'm spending, I may be adjusting that sinking fund to put more money in there because I don't want to completely deplete it. Because if my dad wants to go on a weekend trip or something, like I want to be able to do that because I missed out on so much in the past because I didn't have the money to do it, and I don't want to miss out on the precious time that I have with my family. I've lost a lot of family in the last few years since around when I started my channel, 2013, I do believe it was. I lost my grandmother, and then in 2017, I lost my grandfather, and then in 2020, I lost my mother, and so there's been a lot of loss, and I know that my great aunt is very old, and we don't know how much longer she has, and then the same thing with my dad, he's not that old, and I know that my mom lost her life to, um, other circumstances, but you never know what might happen, and I want to spend as much time with my family as possible. So that's why I use this fund. So I might be adjusting that in the future. Moving on, I also went to Walmart. I really needed a level and a rake, but I also got an outdoor rug. I got some other stuff, but I don't remember what it is. And then this is the rest of it. You can even see down there at the bottom. Yes, I spent $869.86 from my sinking funds. So at Target, I bought some things for the house. I bought a few more things for the pantry. I think I got these in February maybe, because I don't think that was on I don't think that was on the other one. So I redid my pantry. That's a whole nother video that I still haven't put together for you. I'm very busy and still trying to do other things around the house. So I do apologize that I don't have that up, but I do have befores and afters for the pantry and the bathroom, as well as my bedroom, and then of course the living room, which I'll get to that down, you'll see that down below here. I spent another $42.39 for the pantry. Then I went out again to the fish fry with Aunt Doris, $23 for that. Then on the 22nd, which this is probably not even the same day, I don't even know. It just depends on when it clears my account and I put it in. If I put it in like right away, then I'll know the correct date. But then if I don't put it in right away, then I check my credit cards like, oh yeah, I got to put this in, and I'll put it in later. Then it doesn't clear on the same day. So that's why sometimes the dates are messed up. So I went to the hardware store with my dad. I got some grass seed. I also got some washer handles, which did not actually fit. So those didn't work. So I actually took those back. And I did get a refund on those. And that actually cleared my account as well. So let's take out like $8 from that, and that's actually about what I spent. So I do need to find the correct handles for the washer spouts that come out of the wall. I still don't have the right ones, so I need to get those, but I did get like an $8 and something cent refund on that. I also went to Home Depot and bought some painting supplies, so brush, roller, pan, pretty much everything I would need for painting except for the actual paint. I did get like a little can that was about $15, so that was enough to test the color. Thankfully it was the color that I wanted, because they didn't have any in the sample sizes. They only had like the satin finish, and I was afraid like if I got that then it would be a different kind of color because it would be a lot shinier. I got the eggshell paint, and the satin is a lot shinier, and I didn't want that to affect what I thought about the paint and the color. And because it was the right color, it worked out because, it gave me some extra paint to use. Then I went back to Home Depot about a week later, bought more painting supplies, including the paint, and then a couple other supplies as well that I forgot that I needed. And I also got some hedge trimmers. They're the ones that like this. They were like $30 hedge trimmers. I think the paint was like $60, and then the rest was the other painting supplies that I needed. And I used those hedge trimmers on my hedges yesterday, and oh my gosh, my arms are so sore. Like I feel like I've been lifting weights. Like I can't barely lift my arms because of it. So those are workouts, but they were only $30 for a really nice pair of Fiskars hedge trimmers, and the power ones were like $169, and then you still had to buy a battery to go with it. So I figured it was well worth me having sore arms, and actually like I could use the exercise, It's not a bad thing. And then this is the last thing that I did. So like on the last day of March, I actually went and I bought a lawnmower. This is a different hardware store that I was at, but they actually refurbish lawnmowers, and they go through a whole checkpoint inspection to make sure that like it works and it runs really well. I have not used it yet. I'm supposed to use it today, so we'll see how that goes. But I also needed a gas can because it's a gas powered lawnmower, and so I needed a little can to get gas in. So that total was $198.21. So after about 6 times cutting the grass, like it'll pay for itself pretty much. So that is everything that I spent for a grand total of $869.86. So now let's look and see where my sinking funds are after I've spent all my money, and then I'm going to show you where my sinking funds are starting for April. All right, so here we go. My emergency fund is $2,000. That's actually split up between 3 different accounts. I have $1,500 in a savings account that accrues interest. I have $250 in a checking account that does accrue interest, but not as much as a savings account, and then $250 in my main bank account. The two $250 ones, that's more of a like just in case I overdraft or I don't know, just in case. It's a just in case. It leaves me a safety net just in case to have that money in there. But altogether, it equals $2,000 for my emergency fund. In the month of February, I paid my Progressive car insurance. So I was starting out with $0. I ended up with $75. That's what I put in each month. And then I pay that every 6 months and saves me at least $100 every 6 months to do it this way. My gifts fund for holidays, birthdays, any kind of gifts that I want to give, I now have $175 in there. My miscellaneous fund is just in case there's something that comes up that I forgot about. That's $100. My house repairs and updates. So this one really took a hit. I started out with just over $2,000. I now have about $1,500 left in that account. But of course, it's going to be different once I put money back into my sinking funds. My car repairs and replacement is $475. My clothing is $100. Medical is $500. My Rachael in business, I only have $10 left in there. Family time is $274. So you can see it started out at $325 at the beginning of March and then ended at $274. So I really need to figure something out as far as do I need to add more? I think I'm going to wait 1 more month before I add more than $25 because my Aunt Doris has been paying most of the time when we go out, and so we'll have to see. But I also don't want to make her pay every time, so we're going to figure this out. I'm going to use another month just to figure out what I need to do. And then my extra change, this is just like interest that accrues, and so or if like up here I have like 43 cents left over, I'll just move that around just so that I have more even amounts. Okay, so right now, this is actually what my sinking funds are looking like as of the beginning of April, but before I have put in the extra money from the end of March. So if you saw my budget recap for March, then you will have already seen this next little part. This is what I was able to put to, it says extra payment on debts, but really this is like going into my house sinking fund right now. Because technically some of the updates for the house that I'm long-term saving for, like windows, that will actually help me on paying off my house in a different kind of way. That's another video that I have planned. I was able to put $1,603.90 towards my house sinking fund. So all of this money is going into the house sinking fund. I brought in an extra $1,400 thanks to the stimulus money, and then I also underspent in all of my other categories like gasoline, groceries, spending money. I saved $84.60 from all of that and was able to put all of that into these sinking funds. $1,536 is what I had, and I'm adding in $1,604 for a grand total of $3,140, and then of course each month I add in another $50 for that category. So you can see where I am starting the month, I ended the month before with this first row, and then the second row is what I'm adding at the beginning of the month, and so I'm actually starting April in my house repairs and updates, and I just realized that I spelled repairs wrong. I need to fix that. So anyway, I ended March with $3,140, and I added at the beginning of the month $50 for April, which means I am starting the month of April with $3,190. And then as I spend money, it goes here, and so that's what I end up with at the end of April, is in that last row right there. And then that very, very last row, that one is actually like my goal. Like if I get to that amount, then I can stop adding money in like I did for miscellaneous and medical, because it's full. I don't feel like I need to add any more in there because hopefully I won't need to spend more than that. So this is like the most important one is my house repairs, but you can also see where I'm ending up everything else. I have $200 for gifts. I have $500 for car repairs. I have $125 for clothing. My business now has $35. Family time is now at $300. So that is the current state of my sinking funds. So I should have around $5,100 in my sinking funds right now. My goal was to get to about $3,000. It is now time to start calling places, get some quotes for windows. And once I have quotes, then I will know definitely how much I'm going to need for new windows. Of course, I'm going to keep you posted. And in the meantime, I'm going to try not to spend quite as much money from my household budget. Although I do really, really, really want to paint the kitchen now. And I might try to tackle that like in the next couple of weekends, which means more money spent on paint. However, the painting supplies are purchased. I don't need to worry about that anymore. It's just paint, which will be really nice. But I need to figure out what color. Do I want the same color? Because I do love the color that I have. Or do I want another color? I don't know. Kitchen paint's going to be more expensive for sure. I know that for sure. Okay, so that's it. That is my sinking funds for the month of April, where I'm ending March and starting April with my sinking funds. Hopefully pretty soon I can have some of these house updates and just the like organization and like the living room. Oh, that should be a fun video. It's not done. It's not at all, but you know, maybe it'll just be an ongoing series. We'll see. I will say goodbye and I will see you in the next one. Bye.